at Radio 96.1 FM. It's the perfect way to spice up your midweek routine and get answers to all your burning questions. Whether you're looking for relationship advice or curious about the art of intimacy, Roma's got you covered. Pleasure Pulse, every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Only on Television Radio 96.1 FM. Don't miss out. Your sex education journey starts this Tuesday with Roma as your guide.
Another awkward start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pleasure Pulse. I'm your host, Roma Richardson, and I'm so happy to have you here with me this evening. Another Tuesday, another conversation about sex and its many connections. As usual, before we start tonight's conversation, I want to just give you all a few so that you can let everybody know that Pleasure Pulse is on. We're having a bit of a late start, so please let everybody know that we are live now. So we'll take a short break, come back, and we can get into tonight's discussion. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Pleasure Pulse. I'm your host, Roma Richardson, and you're tuned into ZIZ on Facebook, on YouTube, and on radio. I'm so happy for us to have this conversation tonight, but I'm also really excited this week because it's Music Fest.
Yay.
And if you've seen the flyer, you know we're talking about Sex and Music Festival, not Sex at Music Festival. Although, you know, we're going to talk about ways that you can do that safely if that's something that you are thinking about, or if that's something that happens to become an option, you know, on the night. So I'm joined by my two guests whom I'll ask to introduce themselves or reintroduce themselves since they've been here before.
Good night, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting us, Roma, for such another amazing time like this. I am Dr. Matthias Ofrey, the National AIDS Program Coordinator.
And good night, everybody. I am Mrs. Lucine Pemberton Vaughan, health educator and counselor at the Ministry of Health within the National AIDS Secretariat.
Okay. And everybody knows you too. Everybody knows your faces. Everybody knows your voices, perhaps even, but definitely your faces. And tonight we are going to be talking about Sex and Music Festival. And this is I think the second time I'm doing a program like this. I like to do it around those big events that we have, Music Fest and Carnival, because I think that during those times, especially when people, you know, feel a lot more free, there's a lot more partying going on, which also means more substance use or substance consumption, as well as just the vibes, right? Like these times you see people you ain't see a while. You might see somebody who might be an old fire steak, and you're like, oh, okay, let's see if we can make something catch. So it's like important to think about what can happen in moments like these. And so I wanted to talk about things like consent, and I also wanted to talk about keeping ourselves safe during this weekend. You know, this weekend is a very exciting weekend with Music Fest and White Sands. So between all of those and other activities,
Sex in the City.
Everything.
So it will be Sex in the City.
So, you know, between all of those things, you know, it's definitely really important to prioritize your sexual well-being. So my two guests tonight, as I mentioned, I wanted to talk about consent. I wanted to talk about safety. Why do you think it's important to talk about sexual health and consent in the context of a festival or a big event like this?
Go ahead.
Well, I was doing some research and I looked at the link between music and sex. And it says that when music is combined with dancing and alcohol, it can lower one's anxiety and self-consciousness, making them more open to touch and affection. It also says that music activates dopamine and oxytocin chemicals that are associated with pleasure and bonding, similar to those released during sex. So we see the power of music. And I remember, Doc, that when I was in school in Jamaica, that there was this song when played. It used to make me feel so nice. It evoked some feelings.
What song that was?
Stir it up, little darling. I didn't know the words. And when I looked at the words, I said it really stirred something within me. So music has that power and the potential to evoke those feelings that can lead to sex. So it is important that we know what we are up against and plan and prepare for it and start setting your boundaries. Doctor, some of the things that we know that we always speak about is to make sure that you have your rider's license. You should not be, or we would not like you to engage in sexual activity if you don't have that license, that card that says I have been tested recently and this is my status. And we would be out there prior to Music Fest, and we will talk about that later, but you have to have that and that of your partners. Now, going into that, I must say that everything on that card might not be as it is. Meaning, if the card says negative, then you know that we have to wait 3 months. So I guess that you will come back and ask me that question when you want it. But first, you must ensure that you have your rider's license. Over to you now.
Yeah, why music is the stimulant that agitates chemical relays, that are pleasurable, that are fun, that makes you feel very nice, and actually make you let down your guard, right? I would want to drive into the fact that just as we prepare for Music Fest, getting our clothes ready, buying our clothes, trying clothes and shoes, ensure everything match and everything, we also have to prepare our minds towards ensuring that whatever comes, we are covered. That is why it's important that we discuss, music and sexual health. Because when you get to a point where you are out of control based on the stimulation you get from music and the dancing and the chemistry, everything coming together can actually, make some persons lose control. So that is why, even back to what my colleague Riley said, having those available resources to prevent you from making this statement, I wish I knew. Right? Just like having the female condoms available, having all the necessary condoms and other things, the information that is needed, knowing your status, all of those stuff are also needed. You need to prepare your mind, prepare your body, and prepare yourself in a case where a situation happens, you are well covered. So it's important that we have this discussion. It's not only about getting our clothes and getting our tickets, but ensuring that even our minds are ready in this aspect of festival.
It can be a mind-blowing experience.
And after the mind-blowing experience,
another blowing.
We don't want the negative blowing to come.
Okay. So you mentioned boundaries, right? And boundaries tie in very closely to consent.
Okay.
So, we're talking about being in loud music, Kes is on or whoever is on, and you're just swaying and you're feeling the vibe and all of these things. Or it's intermission, or maybe it's after the festival is over. Or maybe it's during the festival, because, before we started, I talked about how, in spaces like these, oftentimes some folks can feel as if it is a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Like we pay to have access to other people in that environment, and that is absolutely false, right? People deserve to be left alone if they want
Respected.
to be left alone. People deserve to be respected. People also deserve to be asked, right? People should be asked. So what does real consent look like and sound like in a festival environment when you see a girl in front trying back and you feel like you just have to
hold
and
on.
dance with her, or you have to touch somebody somewhere that they haven't given you consent to touch them?
Well, I heard you say that people think that it might be a free-for-all. And I want to tell you that free-for-all can lead to a free-fall. And a free-fall in jail as well. I did not know that even if you start dancing with somebody and they give you consent to dance with them, that consent is not open.
Not all 9 yards.
Right. Oh, gosh. 9 inches? Oh, no, yeah. Yes, you must have consent. So whatever level you are thinking of in your mind, you have to gain consent for it. When I was reading, I learned that if I give you consent to hold my waist and whine behind me, that is just for that. Do not think that you can now take your hands and come up to my breast, or me take my hands and go down to your private parts. It doesn't mean that you can kiss me on my neck. It simply means I have given you consent for this activity. And before you go forward, you have to ask. So you can simply say, may I? And you don't look in her eyes or his eyes and think, oh, I know that look, so she means, or she's okay with it. I think that how she's winding up on me is an invitation. You make sure that she gives you that clear green light, which is, yes, baby, that's good.
And some of the things we see that even the aspect that the lady is not even dancing close to a guy, and she's just dancing on her own. You see somebody just walk towards her and just start dancing behind her. That is disrespectful based on, if you want to look at it from this angle, it's very disrespectful because she have not given you that go ahead. There is no permission asked. There is no consent given whatsoever. As such, she can actually react based on the fact that you are abusing her. If you look at it indirectly, it's an abuse because she's dancing. She didn't call you and you come to touch her, right? She could literally call the police on you or ask that this person is abusing me, right? So we all, I would encourage everybody to ensure that if somebody's dancing and you feel the urge to want to dance with the person, ask the person. Don't just feel like, okay, it's a buffet.
Right.
I bought my ticket, so it's everything's on the menu. That is wrong. You can put yourself into problems. And actually, to prevent that is to have the conversation. Hey, is that okay if I dance with you? Or dance in front of the person so the person can see you.
Yeah.
And you can then eye to eye on the person, can I dance with you? And if they're willing, they'll tell you yes. If not, do not go ahead just to touch the person or go too close to the person because you're actually crossing boundaries and abusing the person.
Yeah.
But Doc, I must admit that men are turned on by sight, and sometimes some ladies really dress provocatively. But then you must know, you must go there with your head on, knowing what to expect and how to control yourself with or without liquor. Because, once you start drinking, all sense and sensibility tend to go through the door. So go there with a level head and know what you are possibly up against.
Right. And I think even if, like in a case like that, where you say, sight might be something that really gets you going, then you can stand and watch. And that can be all, and that can be perfect enough for you.
Sure.
And if you are interested in more, then you ask, right? And I think it's also important to say that consent is conditional and specific to that activity. So as you said, I also wanted to add that it means too that if they say yes to that dance, that doesn't mean you could stay there all night or keep coming back all night. That's not what that was, right? Because everybody goes to music fest for different reasons, right? Like somebody might go by themselves to enjoy themselves by themselves, right? And when you are coming into that space, you are throwing off that person's enjoyment, that person's autonomy, that person's agency, right? And that's another important way to think about consent. Like consent is people's personal agency and personal control over their bodies and their space. And just like we would want that for ourselves, we have to give that to other people too. So I just wanted to say that part, like one dance don't mean stand me all night or keep coming back. It don't mean keep looking for me or anything like that. And I mean, we have had recently-ish, like in the last year or two, a lot of videos come out with guys getting rejected by people who did not want to dance with them. So that's also, I think, an important consideration to avoid public humiliation
And
embarrassment.
there's nothing wrong with being rejected. You just take it and leave.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that when you push so much, then you cause problem for yourself. And also, even if while you're talking, this just came to my mind. Even if you are given the consent, you have to be very conscious, because sometimes due to the fact that they are under the influence of
Right.
alcohol or whatever substance, they can give you consent and later on they're like, I don't know you. That is why you have to go there with your own mindset and said, what am I there for really? And be very careful on whoever you're relating with in terms of, dancing or contact whatsoever.
And you know something, Doc? Consent can also be recalled.
Of course,
When you asked me, I might have felt
comfortable.
in the mood,
Yeah.
but then when we begin, I realize that I am uncomfortable, and I can now say, I'm sorry, but I don't wish to
Continue.
continue.
Right. And that is perfectly acceptable.
And sometimes not
should be
even verbally
respected.
said, just the body
Sometimes
language,
somebody steps
and
away
just step
from
away
you.
from you.
Yeah.
Let them go.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't have to follow them all night, as you say.
Right.
It look as if you're stalking the person and make the person uncomfortable. To really enjoy themselves.
And while we are talking about consent, I think that school children usually go to, right? Okay, so please,
Sometimes, yeah.
so please, we have to be on our P's and Q's,
Right.
because there are some school children that can look very mature, and you better know what you're doing. Sometimes I think that they should have their
Different
IDs.
bands,
Yes. But anything below 16, even if it is a yes, even if they say yes, it is still a no, because they can't give
By
consent.
law, yes.
And I would just put it across the board, leave the school children alone.
Full
Period.
stop.
That's a very good thing I never thought about the fact that they need to be at least checked before they assess, that environment, because it's a mix of different class of people. So we're having our children partaking in such an event that adults sometimes maybe misbehave. We want to ensure that, we know that those children are there. So how are we controlling that? Is a thing that we need to look into, because it's very important, because
Right.
they are driven by what they see and they emulate what they see. So sometimes you're telling them, no, don't do this. You're telling them, no, don't do this. But when they see
Everybody
you in
around
music
them.
fest, you're acting
Yeah.
acting different from what they're asking them not to do. It's a double standard thing. So we have to maybe look into, if we have to address the fact that, they have to come in with the ID to really show, just like in some bars, right? Or in some music area, you don't just assess if you are below a given age. And also we want to, how can we control them consuming, substance at that age?
As a matter
without
of fact,
knowing the
I
age?
think that I think that we need more parental control. That environment for me isn't conducive to
Children.
a young person's sexual health. So
I agree.
parents need to monitor and
And talk to their children before their children. But not just the night before they
Of
leave,
course.
but have, continuing, ongoing conversations with them.
and I really don't think that they should be there unsupervised.
Right.
Of course, if you go into music fest,
You take them with
you take them with
Yeah.
you so they can actually enjoy the ambience of the place. But you know where they are. You understand? It's very important. Just like a parent that decide to go, I'm going with my partner. We going to music fest, but we are somewhere else. Our children are there in the music fest. We know they are there, but they're somewhere else doing whatever. It doesn't. It makes no sense, really. So we have to really step up as parents, ensure that we know what the children are up to, where they are, because it's very important. Sometimes
Who
they
they
can
are with.
who they're with, because
Right.
they can be convinced
Right.
by people. We have molesters. We have people that trying to convince them to do something they're not supposed to do. So it's important as a parent to protect those children, because they can make adequate decision for themselves.
Yeah, very true. What would you say are some, as we kind of talk about the not so great but still real side of events like these, what would you say are some red flags that people should watch out for in perhaps festival hookups. Like you met somebody at Music Fest and you're really interested in them, or you think you could be interested in them, whether it's casually or more seriously. I think one would be their response when you are in the space and you say no and you don't want to dance, or you want to say, okay, I want to go look for my friends, and they're like, no, you have to stay here. So those are some red flags, immediate controlling or behavior that doesn't respect your boundaries.
Right.
What do you think are some other red flags to look out for?
One of the red flags I think that perhaps people can look out for is somebody stalking you after you said give them the permission the consent to want to dance, and you are done with that dance perhaps and you want to leave, but they want to be around you or keep looking for you or want to follow you wherever. It's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's something that you need to, when you notice that, you don't have to struggle whatsoever. Just continue walking to where your police is and just report. It's very important. Because you don't know who that person is. Right? You can just be stalked till something happens. And of course, you should know what is in your cup when you're drinking.
I was going to say, not that a red flag is letting people buy you drinks.
No, but just know what is in your cup.
Know what is in your cup. And I think a red flag would be people continuously buying you drinks. So like they just seem like they just want to be feeding you and feeding you and feeding you alcohol. That is something to
be conscious about.
To look out for.
Yeah. Because why you keep buying and buying for me? Seems like you're not drinking.
Right.
But you just keep buying for me to drink.
But you want to get me drunk, and you also should not, accept drinks from people that you haven't seen be poured or made yourself, because you don't know what is or what could be in that drink. So it's important, if you allow somebody to buy your drink, to go to the bar with them and to see that drink made and be sure or more sure that it's okay.
True.
I know that this is I know that people can be polite, but a red flag for me would be I gave you one dance, and then after that you want to call me baby. That feels, that was just a little too quick. That made me feel that you really think that I'm yours after one dance, really. So,
and to that too, a red flag is just, we're just dancing. I give you consent to just hold, give the person consent to hold your waist, and then they kiss your neck. It's a red flag. Just stop it right there, and stop the dance and walk away, because the person has breached a boundary that you never give them access to. That alone is a red flag. If it's kissing your neck, what else will they do? If the place gets too dark, what else will they do? So, and some persons find it difficult to say accept rejection. So when you see something like that, before you get to a point where you have to reject, you just walk away. It's a red flag.
Another red flag might be, although it's a nice white flag, it can turn red if they ease up in your ear and ask you have a condom. I mean,
like you
it's
just
nice to hear that, but
dancing. No sign that
you
ain't
asking for any
yet.
sex, right? But he's wondering if I have a condom. So that is pushing the cover a bit, not taking it in strides, and already start acting as if he has consent for sex, and it gives you an idea of what he or she is planning, so you be on your guard.
Especially if you're not on the same page about that. Okay. I think I would add another red flag is, you talked about your rider's license, so people not knowing their status. I was going to ask, like, how do you get into that topic at maybe Music Fest? Like, Music Fest is winding down, and perhaps it is You know, because sometimes you do meet somebody. You know, we've talked about the instances where you meet somebody, you dance with them, you ain't want to dance with them no more for whatever reason. But sometimes you meet somebody, you dance with them, you enjoy it, you enjoy them, and you want to dance with them all night. And then as the night is going, you feel like, oh, we should continue this after the festival ends. Yeah, after it ends, don't leave early. Stay till it ends and then continue it after. How do you get into the conversation about status, about safer sex methods and all of that at a place like music festival? Should you step away from the music? What are some sexy things you could say that doesn't, that don't kill the vibe, but that, allow you to get the information that you need?
Okay. Doc, you're the man. You're going to take the lead on that one.
I think one of the best ways to approach it is, look at it, they are already in the mode. They are already vibing themselves, as you say, vibing themselves. They are all in one page. They know what they want, basically. So I think it will be more easy at that time to just say, hey, listen, I am very more health conscious, and I know my status.
Doctor, she said don't kill the vibes.
How would that kill the
vibes? Of course. Yeah, you're gone into health.
I would just ask, I'm kind of very direct sometimes.
No, like Cocotte playing our Vibes Cartel on and Vibes Cartel singing. What Vibes Cartel song be? Bike Back. Vibes Cartel singing. I think Vibes Cartel is Bike Back. Vibes Cartel and Spice are on singing that song that they have together. That is not coming to me.
Okay.
Come in at me Ramping Shop. That song they're singing. What? Ramping Shop.
Ramping Shop.
So you're gonna be like, So you're gonna be like, hey, I'm very health conscious. I'm really interested.
No. He is
gonna Cartel singing Fever. What would you say?
Fever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fever.
And the man, no, but it's
we
okay.
Fever. Wait,
so he might say, "Baby, are you hot?" He's finding it.
I don't.
No, honestly, okay. I am to that point.
Tell me,
right?
Yeah.
This is how I would approach it. If I was in such an environment, we are already in the mood and everything. I say, hey, listen, I know my status, or something, and ask if you you know your status. At least we know where we are heading to.
Yeah.
You're right? And if she say yes, okay, and then I can say, okay, do you have a I have a condom, do you have a condom? All of that stuff. So it's sometimes what do you think that may not be ideal for one person might be ideal for another person.
Okay.
Right? So I am more direct than going through corners.
Yeah. Well, if he's asking me, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that is perfectly fine, especially if the two of you are on the same page and you're feeling each other. That will not kill the vibe. A question about
if you kill the vibe, then it's not meant to be.
Then there's not a vibe, right? Like a question about your sexual health, even if it's not couched in sexy words. Once it gets to, this is what I'm trying to get from you. This is what I'm trying to give to you. What else is sexier than do you know your status?
Exactly.
But tell me, Mrs. Pemberton,
if they're singing that song about fever, you say, and he said, "Baby, I'm hot," and I'm gonna say, when last you had your gauge checked, or ramping grown, and this song, tempted to touch, do you have your ramping license? And he's gonna say, what's that? And I make sure that I have mine, and I pulled out my card, and I say, well, I'm clean, so I'm ready for the ramp. What about you? Okay. He doesn't have any, so got it, get it. Then you head straight to the tent
where the
over by the National AIDS Secretariat tent, and you get your heating gear,
Which will be at
And,
Music Fest.
right.
Yes.
So y'all will be providing rapid testing.
Yes. No,
No,
not there,
not-
but on
Okay.
Friday.
Okay.
But because too that was kind of quick, and that person might not have had the foreplay that they could have had, given the limitations. I think that we would have lubricants too, right?
Of course.
Okay, so
Okay, so you have condoms and you have
And
lubricants
lubricants.
at the tent at
Yes.
Music Fest.
yes,
Female condoms and male
I don't
condoms.
think we have the
I don't think we have some female condoms. I don't
Yeah.
even think that the foreplay will be required. All that is done during the dance.
Yeah.
Because then
You
one
foreplay
accord
all
already.
night.
Just telling you that maybe it was not all night.
Okay.
It can be a little quicker, and some of us are in menopause and we might take longer to
Right.
so
Okay.
we would have that. And for men who have sex with men as well, they will need
A
the-
lubricant
yeah.
for sure.
So people can get as many condoms as they need,
Yes.
as much
well,
lubricant
we
as
are
they need.
giving at least 6 condoms. Ooh, that's a lot
Per
of
person.
rounds. Yes.
That's
Yes.
a lot of rounds.
And then the lubricants will be available as well.
Okay.
At disposal.
Okay.
So
That's-
just look for the tents. It will be there. And
It will be
then
marked.
just-
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, it will be
Okay.
marked. And of course, you see the health staff over there with this T-shirt, right? Mark, HIV is everybody's business, and our logo over there, and just pass by and get it, right?
Okay. All right. Let's take a short break here, and then we will come back and keep talking about Sex and Music Festival. So stay tuned.
By the time you go and pick up.
Welcome back to Pleasure Pulse. I'm your host, Roma Richardson, and I'm joined by my guests here from the National AIDS Secretariat, Dr. Ofrey and Mrs. Lucine Pemberton Vaughn. And we have been talking about Sex and Music Festival. And like I said, not necessarily Sex at Music Festival, because police will be around and nobody can say, I said, are you? Go do anything at Music Festival. Of course, the lights they be a little dim, so sometimes you can get in the mood. So I don't have a problem with people kissing and caressing and so on and so on. So, but don't do anything that you can get arrested for. Is all I will say. Don't do
Precisely.
anything you can get arrested for. So we have been talking about broaching the topic of sexual health, of safer sex, contraceptive use, and so on, while you are at Music Fest, in a way that doesn't kill the vibe. And I think we agree that there are many different ways to do that. And if the way, whatever way you do it, kills the vibe, then that is a red flag.
It is a red flag.
To look out for. Of course, we're not talking about stopping and shouting, tell me whatever, your status is, or, embarrassing the person or humiliating them or anything like that. But we're talking about, like, respectfully
Of course.
asking, like, I want to know, and you could ask that in different ways. And we just want to emphasize knowing your status, right? So, anyone can have sex, and that's something that we were talking about during the break, emphasizing that it is also okay to have sex, whatever your status is, once you know your status and you are using methods to keep yourself and your partner
Protected.
safe,
Right.
right? Okay. So, I think we also wanted to get into something else. What was it?
Well, we did say that even if someone has a card and they were
Yes.
tested the day before music festival and it says negative, it may not mean that they are negative because of the window period. Remember that when one gets infected, that there is a window period of roughly 3 months for you to really know your status, and the test that looks for the antibodies will show up in your body. The antibodies will show up in your body 3 months after. So if you had sex the week before, you could be showing a false negative.
Right.
So not because your partner's card
It shows
is
negative.
saying negative, it may mean that they are negative. All that means is that they are responsible enough to have gone and gotten tested.
And it's not an approval for you to have unprotected sex. So
Excellent.
it just shows that somebody have their card. It just shows that they are health conscious.
Right.
And even if the person indicates when having a conversation, they say that they are positive, does not mean you can be still intimate with them. All you'd ensure to do is to stay protected by using condoms, right? And ensure that, that is adequately used, because it's not, sometimes you use things and not properly use them. Of course, at the tent we have there, the music festival, the health officials that will be there will provide education on how to adequately use, demonstration on how to adequately use condoms without, it's coming out or it's breaking or something. So all of that information will be provided there at the music fest.
I like that too. It simply means that if one is positive and you ask for their status, that is your right.
Of course.
Okay, if they are positive, I would like to let the public know that it is safer having sex with an HIV positive person who is on treatment
Who knows
and
the status
virally
and-
suppressed than to have sex with somebody, unprotected sex with somebody that does not know
the status.
his or her status. So I just want to put that out there, because if you are positive and virally suppressed, meaning that you are on treatment and your viral load is now down so low that it can
It reduces the chances at which it's being transmitted from you to
and
the
they're
next
saying
person.
that you cannot
Yeah.
transmit that sexually.
Okay. So we're trying to prepare everyone for any
Precisely.
scenario at music festival. And of course, there are other STIs.
Of course.
Are you all providing testing for those on Friday, or should people come by the clinic throughout the week to get testing for the full range,
For just
full panel? I
for
think.
Friday, which is 27th of June, we're only providing HIV testing. However, the other services that will be provided there, we'll be having the dental department there to provide in some services, to some capacity, as well as we have the counselors to provide counseling from the mental health department, and we also have some services from the lab at JNF, to provide some services in respect to people knowing their blood type and all of the stuff. So all of that will be made available. However, if you want to check for other STIs, we encourage that you go to the health centers and ask for it, and it is free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
most
might
of them is
not
free.
come back
In
for
time
Friday.
for
Of
music
course,
fest.
of
for
course.
But it's
Thursday.
okay. You know that
For you,
for whether or not you have it, you are infected, we are saying be protected.
Right. So knowing your status isn't approval or license to
be
go
reckless.
and have sex
Right.
without condoms. It is just a
Precisely.
matter of just being aware.
yes.
Exactly.
For yourself.
And we would be having some flavored condoms. And please note that these condoms are not for for sex, meaning vaginal or anal sex, because of them dyes. And so because we have strawberry, we have vanilla, we have
Banana.
banana, and I think chocolate. And the reason why we have these flavors, oral sex, so it makes the condom taste nice.
So that you can enjoy it.
Right, so that you can enjoy your banana.
But
or
if
your
you use
lollipop,
them
but
vaginally or
it might
anally,
cause some
it will probably
irritation.
throw off your pH
And
and
then-
you'll probably
cause
get a yeast
irritation
infection.
and predispose you to other STIs. So
Precisely.
please, all of those nice flavored condoms, they are just for your mouth. Well, the upper one, that is.
Okay. What about, so I mean, we kind of got into situations where consent might be violated, how can you navigate saying no when things feel pressured or uncomfortable? We talked about consent being conditional, being time bound, being specific, all of those things. Consent is not a continuous thing. It's something that you have to check in regularly, and check in at each step to see if it's okay. So perhaps it's that, new couple or whatever that has been enjoying the night or whatever, and then for some reason at the end of the night you decide, I don't want to take it any further. But some people might feel like maybe the person has bought you drinks all night, because I hear that often, like you buy them drinks all night, and so the expectation is that they're gonna give you back something for it. Or the vibes just I never wanted to go that far. Maybe I did at one point and then I just changed my mind. How do you navigate saying no when you're feeling uncomfortable, when the person has invested so much in you?
It works both ways, if you look at it. All right. First of all, for the guy, I think both parties should actually relay their expectations, right? Early. I think it seems as if it's a deal breaker, right? But it's the best thing to do. If I want to invest in anything, I want to know exactly if that thing is really worth investing in, right? So before you start investing your money in buying drinks and food and all of those stuff for the person and expecting something, let the person know this is where I like you to this point and this is what I hope to get, right? And it seems as if I'm too straightforward. I think it's the best thing to do, right? So the right person will say okay.
Yes.
That's what I believe. The right person will say okay. The wrong person, at least to reduce problems and also prevent you from spending unnecessarily on people that don't really want you.
Yeah, and you can spend on who
exactly
want you, but you can't not communicate that,
Right.
and
and then have that expectation at the night, and then want to have the person to kill because they have rejected.
Exactly, and people will not reject free drinks. You understand? Especially ladies who don't reject free drinks. Say, oh, beautiful, you look nice. Bartender gave. No, they will take. So communicate that to them, and hear what they have to say. If you feel like you want to continue doing it, go ahead. However, but do not think that you should hold them ransom for the fact that you bought them something. It's free gift.
For this
And
fact that you bought them
sometimes
a spiced lemonade.
sometimes it is not what you say, but how you say it. So, and you have to, as you say, speak up, know that the night is young and you are still and maybe
Not under the control of their substance.
Right.
Influence.
Right. So you can say a drink, that's it, no strings attached. And smile. You can be polite. If you see them pushing and you gently say, no, let's take it slow, or not yet, can mean afterwards. Not yet can mean next week, next month. Not yet. When I'm ready, I'll signal to you. And so that person knows that I can get the signal and the thing soon finish. Well, it's not yet. Okay?
And the lady also can help. How can the ladies help? If somebody's buying drink for you, 1, 2, 3, ask the person, I hope you're not expecting anything.
Yeah.
Hope nothing, this is not a gift with something attached to it.
That's similar to what
So
I got from what you were saying.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be as if, something, is coming out of this. So when I can walk away whenever I want to.
Right.
I don't feel like I have to tell you I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Sure. And then we want people to be mindful. If you know that you have no interest, do not take everything. I mean, you can say, that's enough. You've spent enough and I appreciate.
Yes, one drink should be enough.
Yeah.
2 drinks should be
You
enough.
don't broke the man pocket.
And then the man still keep. In fact, even after music fest, they see you on the street like, see the girl there, drink up all, take up all my money, right? So you don't want to do all of this stuff. Put yourself in a situation where you will not be talked about or looked at a certain way.
Okay. So you are well within your right to say no.
Right.
You do not have to say yes because someone has fed you, bought you drink, bought you and your friends drinks, brought you and your friends' drinks, boy drinks, everybody. You can still say no and you can feel comfortable. To say no. I only believe in shaming people publicly if it has to get to that point, because sometimes people don't accept a quiet no, sometimes people don't accept a polite no, and sometimes it has to be escalated, and if you need to do that to keep yourself safe, do that to keep yourself safe. But if someone tells you no, it is important to respect that no the first time you hear it, not to be in the ear saying come now, this like and this blah 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 blah, because that person doesn't owe you anything. So if you make a decision to continue spending, whether you're a man or a woman, because it could be a woman, it could be anybody, it could be a man spending on another man, a woman spending on another woman, whatever it is, right? You make that decision to spend your money. And you should make the decision knowing full well that you might not get what you think you will get at the end of the night for it. So as you said, make your intentions clear. I really like you. I love to see you. I like your outfits, and I'm really attracted to you. I would love if after Music Fest we could keep this night going or something, so that the person knows. I think a lot of times we want to have sex with people through deception.
Yes.
And I
agree.
Yeah, and not full honesty. And it's time for us to practice being honest. And that person that you talk to might not be the person for you, but there are thousands of people at Music Fest, and you want to, if you decide to have casual hookups there, have enthusiastic sex. You want people to give enthusiastic consent. You want the person to be just as interested in you as you are in them. That is what makes for good sex, right?
Yes, that is true. And don't give mixed signals.
Like swaying the person.
Let your nay be nay and your yea be yea, because I have heard of this girl who was saying don't, and she said don't. I said stop, and she's still there whining, don't. I said stop, and she ended up saying don't stop. Hey, if it's don't, you say don't and you walk away. Okay, do not give any mixed messages so that the other person cannot read you clearly. Okay? Although I know, let your body language match exactly what you are saying.
Yes, and please, everybody, walk with your money to Music Fest. Yeah. Like be in a position to feed yourself, to quench your own thirst, and still if you do that for someone, it still does not entitle you to
Right.
anything. But I'm encouraging people still, I think it's also important, as we said, to be honest about everybody's intentions in that moment. So
Precisely.
you accept a drink from the person and say, okay, yeah, but I'm not really interested in that. And if the person decides to buy you the drink still, that's on the person.
that's
But
on
if
them.
you know, in no way I will be interested in
Don't deceive
you
the
for
person.
whatever reason, don't even accept the drink. Just be like, no, I'm okay. And you,
It's even better way.
And be
You move
prepared
on.
for any eventuality. So you better walk with your vex money too.
yes.
Because if after buying those things for you and you say no and they get angry and decide
Give them pay
to
your
leave
back.
you there, then you better know how you
Yeah.
are going to get home.
That's
And that's
an
the next step,
important.
though. Because at the end of the day, most times people just get ready and they don't even know how to go back
That's
home.
another
And then at the
thing
end
to
of the
talk
day,
about.
they want to, jump into a trance. They don't even know the person, and it is risk. You put
Yeah.
it, especially as it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy. It's risk.
Or-
These days,
or
people,
drunk
people,
enough.
people just abuse whoever.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want to pre-this. We don't want to go to music fest, have fun, and wake up tomorrow with some STIs, exposure, because you don't even know yourself. You are under the influence of alcohol, or somebody did something to you. So plan yourself just the way you took your time to plan to buy whatever outfit you want to wear, or the shoe you want to put on, or whatever. Make sure you plan adequately on how you want to get there and how you want to get back home. It's very, very important, because just like if you go to this trip on Fridays, sometimes people just go there, they find their way there,
Yeah, and then you
and
see
2, 3
hitchhiking.
o'clock they don't even know how they want to get
Yeah,
there,
you see
and they
them
start
hitchhiking.
trying to stop vehicles and all those stuff. You predispose, it's risky. We know it's a small environment, but doesn't stop things that are not right to be done, right? So it's important.
What you doing over there, 3 o'clock?
I am just
Doctor?
giving an example.
He over there picking up the hitchhikers, making sure they get home.
running
safe.
over.
No, not me. I'm not doing that. No, not
Okay,
me.
yeah, I think that's an important point, and I want to, because as I said, people go to music fest on different times. So, and I mean, like, some people go on demon time, some people go on they plan to be the perfect angel or whatever. Some people, especially on like the Thursday night and so, where is soca and wireless, some people go intending to get drunk. If you go and your plan is to get drunk, then it means that you have to have someone who is designated to take care of you. You can't be drunk and take care of yourself. I know groups of friends who they do that in rotation. So one night is yours, the next night is mine, so that everybody get a thing of enjoyment, but everybody
Well planned.
everybody is taken care of. So see, somebody who is driving had to know that they're driving, because they will not drink, or they will drink one drink and drink soft drinks for the rest of the night, or water the rest of the night, whatever it is. But things like that you also have to plan. And if for whatever reason, maybe you've lost your friends, maybe in your enthusiasm for the night you dropped your phone, and you're not sure how to find them, how to get home, whatever it is, there are police outposts there. I'm sure they could also approach y'all and say, we need to find a safety contact.
Right.
Red Cross is going to be there, I think,
Yes.
as well, to provide help. And I think they do hydration and all them kind of things if you need help. I don't know, I'm guessing so.
Environmental health officers will be there as well.
Yeah.
You can contact health officials will be there.
So, but
they
don't
can help.
try to get home on your own if you are in a position like that. And sometimes we also underestimate how drunk we might be. So we might think that we're okay
Right.
when we're not okay. So it's important, as much as you didn't want it maybe to go like that, it did. And it's better if we can take care of you now and keep you alive than something
Yeah.
happens to you, you drive, or something else, So I implore folks to be clear about how you're going to
Yes.
show up at Music Fest, what you want to get out of Music Fest, who your safety contacts are. Make sure you go
And
with
have a buddy too.
people.
I am going here, so if I'm going with my friend,
Yeah.
and I know that I have another lady friend who is going to say, I would be here with
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let people know where
I
you're
would be
going.
here for about half an hour. you
Yeah.
know.
Go to the bathrooms with
Yes.
people, don't do
Precisely.
things by yourself.
Precisely. And also, it shows that you're responsible, because we don't want people that are people drunk and driving and put other person's life at risk,
Yeah.
because you are under an influence, in the influence of alcohol. So, and then when you get to know yourself, you're back to your senses, the deed is done. Right? So be responsible, drink responsibly, act responsibly, and plan adequately to ensure that, issues that would arise from you not planning will not happen at all. So we're encouraging everybody out there, prepare yourself, plan right. We have how many? 2 days to music festival? Ensure you start planning right now. Get the Uber number you need to get. Contact them. Let them know when you want to get there, when you hope to come, so they can plan and wait for you. Whatever it is, you can get home safe. We want everybody safe, basically.
And something, doctor? And the female condoms, if you know that you are going and that you have been there before and you are likely to hook up with someone, the female condom can be inserted up to 8 hours before. So
Yep.
you can go with it securely inserted, installed. You can come by the National AIDS Secretariat before, and we'll set you straight.
Okay, great. And I wanted to end by asking you, what should be in your safer sex kit when you're going to music fest? But I feel like y'all have kind of
Touched it, right?
on them. So we have your rider's license, we have the Uber contacts, we have the female condom that you might have inserted already.
The lubricant.
Lubricants.
Male condoms
The
available.
male condom, the flavored one, and you can have your rose too, doc.
I don't know about
Your
that.
little sex
Safer
toy. Or if you have a bullet, that's small and
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, I'm not really much informed about that, but yeah, whatever
I'll
makes
teach
them
you that.
safe. No, I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn. but the thing is that whatever keeps you safe, and keep the people safe, people around you safe, do it. Be responsible. Be conscious about what you're doing, and you can still have fun.
yes.
You can still have fun.
Okay. So what time on Friday? Let people know.
We'll be there we'll be at Intermediate Square from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay.
From 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. All right, so ensure you get your friends, get your family members, get your workers. Ensure to bring them down there from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In fact, 4:30 p.m. We will have little giveaways for early birds, right? So show up.
Music fest tickets?
When you get there, you will know. All right, so come, bring your persons, bring your friends, and get tested to know the status. It's important. It's your health is your responsibility, and HIV is not just the National AIDS Secretariat business. It's not the Ministry of Health business. It's everybody's business. So let's all join up, put our heads together to actually combat and mitigate the spread of HIV in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Thank you. Any final words from you?
Well, I was just saying that since we are advocating for rider's license, there is nothing that is much of a bigger turn on than somebody who is responsible. That rider's license ensure that you have it, because if you don't, you might just miss out on the ride of your life. So be equipped and be safe. If you have your license, don't forget that if you have a license, it doesn't mean that you can go around and drive in without your seatbelt, right?
Yes, the condom.
So with the rider's license, you will also be advised to use your seat belt, which the condoms. So they both work hand in hand.
Yes.
And don't forget that abstinence is still an option.
Yes.
And not everybody will be having sex.
Right. Music fest is not an art.
It's not about
Right.
just about sex.
I
just wanted to talk about it for the people.
I understand.
who-
Right.
Right. But it's not an art.
No. and everybody is not doing it. But
Yeah.
because we know that it is a possibility, so don't go there feeling like you should be doing something.
It's a must.
Yes.
Right.
And also, this just came to mind. We also, while you are there, you seen the young children there, right? Please be a parent, even if you're not a biological parent. Be a parent. Make
And
sure
look
if you
out for
see
them.
something happening to a young
Right.
person, call the police, report somebody, stand up for that child
Yes.
because they don't know. If I see somebody that's far older and the way you're acting with this young child,
Right.
what is going on here?
Yep.
Right? I may not approach you if I feel like it might be violent. I will get the police. Please look at that person. Something's not right over there. So
Right.
let's all be watchful. Let's see what's going on and protect the children
Yes.
that can't protect themselves.
Yeah, like if you know someone to be a child and you see them at the bar getting a drink because the bartender ain't know them to be a child,
Right.
stop that from
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And don't
Anything.
sell, not because of money, you have to sell to the children.
Yeah.
Life is not all about money.
Agreed.
And when I see an adult male taking a little girl's hand out, going anywhere with them, I said, "Hey, where you going? Come here." And I asked her a question.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do that.
So be
Your brother's keeper.
your brothers and your sisters, your siblings keeper. Look out for each other. Look out for yourself, but not in a selfish, individualistic way, but just prioritize your safety and your security, just like you are doing the same for others. Be prepared for whatever might happen, but have some idea of what you are open to before you go. So don't necessarily decide on the fly, although that is possible, but make sure that whatever you're feeling down there doesn't fully take over, all of your sense making.
Whatever you're
and all
feeling
of
down
that.
there, always allow your bigger head to rule your smaller head.
Right,
So
exactly.
go there and have your boundaries set as
and
well.
your boundaries
Know what
clear.
you're about.
So
Precisely.
have your people with you, have the people that are there with you so that if you happen to encounter a difficult or potentially dangerous situation, you know where to turn. And aside from all of that, have fun
Yes.
and, be prepared so that you can have fun. But I am so excited for
Be
Music
safe.
Fest. I'm hoping that all of you are excited and are going and that you are looking forward to the vibes and what can come after the vibes or before the vibes or whatever,
I
because
want
I
to
think it's
melons.
going to be an exciting, sensual weekend of amazing artists, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you all for joining
Thank
me
you.
for this
For having us.
conversation.
Thank
You
you.
all, listeners and viewers,
Be
for
safe.
being here as well. And yeah, be safe. And I'm wishing you all a pleasurable night and a pleasurable weekend at Music Fest and White Sands. I will see you all on Tuesday. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.